Hi and welcome to the Diamond Report for Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. It's currently 10:35 p.m. and we are looking at Earthquake 3D. I did not do an earthquake update yesterday when I did the Diamond Report, and of course, having not done an earthquake update, just a few hours after that is when the largest earthquake occurred, which is this near 8.0 earthquake at the far western edge of the Aleutian Island chain in Alaska. If we take a look at this massive quake here, and we turn the rings off, here is the Aleutian Island chain. It just hit the very western edge, almost in Kamchatka, Russia, which is this little peninsula right there. But you can see that that is a really big quake. Magnitude 7.7 officially, and I thought it was pretty interesting that it struck on July 17th, 2017. So you had a 7.7 strike on 7/17/17. It's a lot of sevens. I think it's a some sort of a God numerology type thing. I don't know. But anyway, it did not generate any sort of tsunami. It did have the buoys in the area in event mode, which of course you would expect, but there was no tsunami wave generated, which you can definitely get once you reach the 7 and 8.0 range. So I think we dodged a bullet on that one. And then not too long after that struck, we had a magnitude 6.6 strike southern Peru, which is a little unusual. Peru is very active as far as earthquakes go, but usually the quakes occur just off the coast to the northern end and in the middle of Peru, not so much in the south, which is where I just was about a month ago. I was in Lima briefly, and then I was in Cusco, Peru, and this quake was very close to there where I was. This is Lake Titicaca, that little blue area. If I jump over here to Google Earth, this is Lake Titicaca. This is Lima up here, and the earthquake is, you know, just south of Lima, south and east a little bit of Lima. And where I was is right here where this little red A is, Cusco. And matter of fact, you probably saw my pictures. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Saw my pictures of Sacsayhuaman, and if I zoom in here, you can see it. It's this wall right here is what much of the pictures that I shared on Facebook was about. Anyway, not to get off track there, I just wanted to show you that it was pretty interesting that they were both back-to-back quakes. We had the magnitude almost 8 and then a magnitude 6.6 down there in Peru. And if we go back over the last 7 days, we've had a number of magnitude 6s and larger. Now this red one right here that you see in the middle of your screen is saying magnitude 6.1. That is a really deep quake. I think officially it was a 5.9, but this basically a magnitude 6 quake near North Korea in the Sea of Japan here was a very deep quake. And I remember saying when that occurred, which was, let's see here, that was on the 12th, so 6 days ago now. When this quake near North Korea, this deep one, occurred, I said at the time we really need to watch very closely for a magnitude or 2 larger than this magnitude 6, so up to a magnitude 8.0. Usually that movement up here in the Sea of Japan transfers across China and over here into the Himalayas near Nepal. So I said at the time I felt like Nepal really needed to be on watch for an up to magnitude 7 or 8. And in fact, the pressure did transfer, but it didn't transfer to Nepal and the Himalayas. It transferred north and east toward Kamchatka, Russia, and Alaska. So that magnitude 7.7 is a result, a direct result, at least in my opinion, and also in Dutch census, as far as what I can tell. He's also saying that this really deep quake here caused this magnitude 8. And that makes perfect sense because the pressure does usually transfer into an adjacent silent zone. Once a deep quake has happened, you get a magnitude or 2 larger than this deep quake over the next 7 to 10 days. And in fact, 6 days later, actually it was 5 days later, after this magnitude 6 that was deep, we had the magnitude 8 or near 8. And then, of course, we have the magnitude 6s in the other places on the globe as well. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the headlines. Quote, we are ready to retaliate. Russia warns after diplomatic row ends without a deal. That's on Zero Hedge. Mitch McConnell abandons replace plan and calls for Obamacare repeal and delay vote. Trump tweets, we will return. Germany, infectious diseases spreading as migrants settle in. That's on the Gatestone Institute. Iran says to America, stop worrying about us. Your government is about to collapse. That's on Zero Hedge. Well, I can't really argue with that. Unfortunately, I think they're probably right. At least economically, I think they're right. All options on the table. U.S. threatens sanctions as Venezuela's Maduro vows to create a new constitution. Reading the news on America should scare everyone every day, but it doesn't. That's on Zero Hedge too. Why smallpox will make a comeback. Canadian researchers spend only $100,000 to reconstitute extinct virus. That's on shtfplan.com. The planned destruction of America, if they can't collapse it internally, they'll attack the U.S. externally. Yep, that's generally how it works. Guess what happens in states where food stamp recipients have to work? Well, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Is Germany heading for stock market disaster? German car makers at risk of export meltdown. Murder of Green Berets in Jordan exposed secretive CIA Syria program details. That's on Zero Hedge. Piers Morgan says, shut it, Sadiq, you petty little pipsqueak. Britain should be rolling out the royal red carpet to President Trump, not threatening him like the world's worst monster. That's on the Daily Mail. Trump slams the fake news story of the secret dinner with Putin at the G20. He says the press knew. That's on Zero Hedge. EU in crisis. Austria threatens to close the border as Italy considers handing migrants visas. Eurozone on the rocks. Inflation plunges further as ECB scrambles to save the EU economy. ECB meaning the European Central Bank. And from Michael Snyder, he says we need to build Trump's wall and we need to build it tall and strong. Pat Buchanan on Russiagate, quote, it's hard to see when this ends or how it ends well for America. That's on Buchanan.org. And another one from Michael Snyder, we need to pass Stand Your Ground in every state, abolish the BATFE, and repeal the major federal gun laws. In case you didn't know what the BATFE is, that stands for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, another unconstitutional agency with an unusually long acronym. And I definitely agree with this headline, every rhino needs to go. We do not need more swamp rhinos, as I call them. A rhino meaning a Republican in name only. People like Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and John McCain. They are rhinos. Or swamp rhinos is a better term for it. Students love socialism, whatever that is. This is from Campus Reform. I guess just, you know, getting rid of that wealth gap in the United States? Bill Nye, my sex junk episode is nominated for an Emmy. Now we know what it takes to get an Emmy. That's on Information Liberation. I actually know someone who's won an Emmy award, and it is pretty difficult normally, but maybe they're lowering their standards for Bill Nye, the fake science guy. Who knows? Alan Dershowitz says, shocked how far the left is stretching existing laws, talking treason without evidence. False accusations of major crimes are dangerous to democracy, he warns. Yes, but we don't actually have a democracy, and I know that Alan Dershowitz knows that. We're supposed to have a representative republic, but of course we don't anymore. We have more like an oligarchy that's run by tyrants. Dr. Michael Kaufman, patriot, who exposed Agenda 21, passes away. The resistance loses a hero of rural America, but he won't be forgotten. Russia accuses U.S. of robbery in seizure of diplomatic property by Obama administration. Well, Obama was very good at stealing stuff. Senate GOP's healthcare problem is not Trump. Rhinos jeopardize replacement of Obamacare. I say we just repeal it and do not replace it. Let's replace it with the giant Nothingburger. How about that? From Paul Joseph Watson, anti-Trump protesters literally have no idea what they are protesting about. Claim Trump is, quote, racist, unable to provide any examples. That's because he's not racist. Flash mob of 500 teens attack Philly police and no arrests made. Officers stand down for hours while being targeted. Podesta emails document Hillary Clinton money laundering scheme. Why does Attorney General Sessions refuse to investigate? That is a good question. Of all the people out there, it seemed to me like he would be the guy to do the investigation. So is he afraid of Hillary Clinton too, and Bill Clinton, and ending up like so many of the others who are dead before they can even investigate anything? Border Patrol energized like never before, says Union President. Agents once again enforcing border security after catastrophic Obama era. Yeah, which is pretty much they just let everybody in, I guess, at that point. Big military spending boosts threatens our economy and security. Continuing to do the same thing for more than 17 years and expecting different results is hardly a sensible foreign policy. This article is from Ron Paul. And from John Rappaport, if the EU goes down, all life ceases to exist. The truth is, the EU could vanish tomorrow and the individual nations of Europe would find ways to connect, cooperate, and do business. Well, he's right, unless, of course, they replace the EU with global government, which I think is where we're headed. In exchange for $12 million, Hillary sold out the U.S. phosphate industry. Just another example of why Clinton lost the election. Lou Dobbs and Colonel Schaefer exposed Democrat plan for violent coup against the American people. The globalist plan to destabilize America is underway. Yeah, it's been underway for many decades, really, but it's ramping up now, for sure. Border Patrol Union Chief praises miraculous drop in illegal immigration under Trump. Amazon considering allowing developers access to Alexa transcripts. Users concerned about potential breach of privacy. That's on Breitbart. Minnesota is probing Australian woman's fatal shooting by police. Basically, my mom's dead because a police officer shot her for reasons I don't know. And if you don't know anything about this story, there's more to it than what is on the InfoWars article. The woman they're referring to is this Dr. Justine Damond, who is an Australian spiritual healer, but she's also involved in holistic medicine. The article that I posted on my Facebook page is from healthnutnews.com, so definitely go there and check it out. Yeah, holistic healer Justine Damond, killed by police in Minneapolis. So that's who they're talking about here. It's not just some random shooting. She's one of, like, what, I think we're in the 50s or maybe 60s by now of the number of holistic medicine and holistic doctors have been killed just randomly, either suicided or just murdered outright. Well, the government can't fix healthcare. Learn how government-run healthcare fails the American people. I don't know why the government is even involved in healthcare anyway. They can't do anything right. So why get them involved in healthcare? You need to pull them out. Chemicals banned in kids' toys, found in mac and cheese. So apparently it's okay to eat the chemicals, you just can't play with the chemicals. Rand Paul says Republican healthcare bill keeps the fundamental flaw of Obamacare. Of course it does. Woman loses boyfriend, unborn baby, and leg after hit-and-run crash with a drunk, illegal alien. Man initially fled the scene of the crime. D.C. burger chain to offer free Nothingburgers. Customers have to say the password Nothingburger to redeem the deal. That's on the Hill. Death cult catches on with Mexican gangs in USA. Texas officials and Catholic Church warn about honoring so-called Saint Death. Migrants turn German festival into rape fest. 17-year-old festival goer held down by 3 Afghan migrants. InfoWars dominating and expanding under globalist attack. The attacks on InfoWars continue to backfire. A bombshell attorney links Clinton Foundation to the Mayo Clinic. New information sheds light on the DNC fraud lawsuit. Elon Musk says regulate artificial intelligence before it's too late. AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of civilization, Musk said. Yeah, but as I stated in my Facebook post, Elon is a Morlock, not an Eloi like the rest of us. And if you don't know what a Morlock or an Eloi is, you definitely need to watch the film Time Machine. According to a poll, majority thinks the Dems lack purpose without Trump. Dems offer no real solutions to improve America, voters say. When have they? And for that matter, when have the Republicans really either? at least, and stuck with it. They might have a few solutions, but they don't stick with them anyway. And Trump is falling right in line with most of the RINOs now. Not everything he's doing, but close. MLK's niece says Donald Trump is a compassionate, brilliant man. The president, of course, is leading the charge for civil rights today. Gee, I thought he was a racist. Why China censors banned Winnie the Pooh. Bloggers have been comparing him to China's president. Now that explains it. First bicycle tax in the nation leaves bike-crazy Oregon riders deflated. Democrat Governor Kate Brown expected to sign $15 excise tax on bikes over $200. $10 billion cryptocurrency devaluation in 24 hours. Bitcoin hit hard. Cryptocurrency investors suffered heavy losses. That's on RT. Watch live. Trump vows to protect Made in America products. In Germany, a Syrian hairdresser hailed as a model of integration slits his female employer's throat. After a little over a year on the job, he decided to slit his female employer's throat. It's on Information Liberation. Sounds like an ideal employee, I guess. Cashless Society alert, Visa will be giving up to $500,000 to restaurants that go 100% cashless. It's on the Economic Collapse blog with Michael Snyder. That's going to be really hard for a lot of restaurants to turn down, that's for sure. 1,000 migrants attack festival goers and police in Germantown and sexually assault women. Garbage men being trained to spy on customers. License plate readers being installed on waste management trucks. That's on the New American. Women's March praises cop-killing terrorist as sign of resistance. As Senate bill dies, President Trump and Mitch McConnell call for clean repeal of Obamacare now and replacement later. Muslim world, people want girl arrested for wearing a miniskirt. Music video advocates torturing, quote, racist Trump supporters. The dumbest social justice warrior music video ever. That's from Paul Joseph Watson. Computer AI algorithm shows Trump at 65% approval rating. Mainstream media crafts phony polls, lies to undermine Trump. FBI changed time of weapons theft to deflect suspicion over Seth Rich. D.C. police report exposes FBI cover-up in the Seth Rich murder case. Tourism up under Trump, collapses in Europe following terror and migrant invasion. Reports say Bill Clinton made $500 grand for its speech in Russia, and the Russians won it back. Yeah, no kidding. Shoot first, police training makes cops unstable and dangerous. Poor law enforcement training is putting officers and civilians in danger. Students revolt against anti-Trump teacher, and they troll her with facts and memes. Teacher calls her students racists for supporting Trump. Democrats claim we are already at war with Russia. The left is still hanging on to the Russian hacking narrative. Republicans caught running fake Trump supporters. Establishment politicians pretending to hop on the Trump train to gain support. A fresh batch. More Hillary emails show pay for play. Questions over why the Minnesota cops had body cameras off during shooting of Australian woman. Well, it's because she was a holistic doctor. Just went over that. Biggest threat to U.S. security is a bloated military budget. U.S. military spending has never been so high, and that cannot be a good thing. Washington Post worries about Islamophobia after Somali cop kills white woman. More concerned about mean tweets and criticism of Islam than the actual shooting. That sounds about right, doesn't it? CBS pushes gun control after Somali cop shoots white lady. But only cops should have guns, say anti-gun groups. That's true. Victim of illegal immigrant, Donald Trump saved my life. Emotional meeting shows the impact Trump is making on average Americans. North Korea lacks the capacity to hit the U.S. with accuracy, according to U.S. General. U.S. still unable to evacuate overseas embassies in case of emergency. Video, Muslims tear down crucifix and destroy church. Once again, radical Muslims destroy historical artifacts. Washington is overrun with potbelly pedophiles. The criminals in D.C. are finally being rounded up. I don't know, we'll see about that. Mark Zuckerberg wants to be the god of the fake Facebook matrix reality. The technocratic elite want nothing more than to control your reality. S&P 500 and NASDAQ close at records as tech shares lead. Well, again, more fake market. Watch live. Paul Ryan and the fake GOP attempt to destroy the country. Establishment Republicans continue attacks against America. Well, that's what the swamp rhinos are good at. Okay, well, that's all for today's Diamond Report. Thanks for listening and watching. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.